UFC 290 is right around the corner this Saturday, and today we're going to be doing our official prediction video. What I think will happen, we're going to be predicting every video on the main card, just because I feel like if I was to do the prelims and the early prelims, it would take forever. I'm not a casual, I promise. Going in there with Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn. Bo Nickel was originally scheduled to fight Trezeguet Gore. Trezeguet Gore pulled out the other day, I think it was yesterday. Don't know why, I assume it's because of an injury. Bo Nickel, fantastic wrestler, came from a wrestling background. He's 4-0 in MMA now. I believe he's won one fight in the UFC and a couple on the Dana White Contender Series. His last win was against Jamie Pickett. And Val Woodburn, haven't seen any of his highlights, but this is his UFC debut. He is 7-0, he's undefeated, but I've got to go with Bo Nickel here. I mean, Val Woodburn should be very grateful. His first ever UFC fight is on the main card of UFC 290. But I'm going to go with Bo Nickel by either ground and pound in round 1 or submission in round 1. I think it's going to be similar to the Jamie Pickett fight. Val Woodburn's in the deep waters immediately. He's gone from some local promotion to Bo Nickel very quickly. Bo Nickel's going to ragdoll him with his wrestling, take him down, and like I said, either finish him with ground and pound. I don't think he's going to strike with him, because I don't think Bo Nickel's going to risk striking with some unknown guy. I think he's just going to do what he does best and wrestle with him, really. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I've got Bo Nickel winning by first round, ground and pound. Val Woodburn, I really don't see a way for him to win. He's just a can, really. It's his first UFC fight. I don't see any way he can win this. Bo Nickel, I do think Bo Nickel versus Trezeguet Gore would have been a better fight than this, but obviously we can't really do much about it. But yeah, I've got Bo Nickel by first round. I don't know if I should go with ground and pound or submission. Let's go submission. Let's go ground and pound. TKO first round for Bo Nickel with ground and pound. In the first round, he'll take him down, ground and pound him, and Val Woodburn won't be able to do anything. Moving on. Jalin Turner versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's on a bit of a weird spot in his career. He's lost to Michael Chandler. He's lost to Islam Makhachev. He's lost to Dustin Poirier. He's got 2 wins. He's got one over Claudio Puelles and one over some other guy who I forgot. He is coming off a win. Wasn't really an impressive win though, because the guy who he beat literally just led on the floor for the entire fight. Jalin Turner is an upcoming guy. Good fighter. He's got knockouts. He's got submissions on his record. A bit of everything as Jalin Turner. Pretty balanced. I'd say he's got a more submission threat than anything though. Coming off a loss, I believe, to Gamrot, which I think Dan Hooker would probably lose to Gamrot as well. I think it's going to be a war. Well, not a war. I don't think it's going to be like Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier type war. I think it's going to be pretty evenly matched. It's a good fight here. If Jalin Turner can manage to get past Dan Hooker, then that's, he can stay in the lightweight area. If Dan Hooker can beat Jalin Turner, then it shows he's not necessarily washed. I just don't see a way for Dan Hooker to really win this fight. I don't think he knocks him out, and I don't think he submits him either. This is only a 3-round fight as well. I'm going to go decision win for Jalin Turner. I think he'll do enough in this fight. Dan Hooker's probably going to try and keep it rangy, probably try and strike with him. Jalin Turner's probably going to get a couple takedowns in there, mix it up. It's probably just going to be a striking battle between them both. But I'm going to go with Jalin Turner. I think he's done enough. He's got a good record right now, 14-6, whereas Dan Hooker's is 22-12. Dan Hooker gets the experience. He's had tougher opponents, like I said, but a win over Claudio Puelles is not really impressive. His last proper win was like 2 fights ago, and he got steamrolled by Arnold Allen as well. I do think Dan Hooker's slightly washed, but if I had to pick one winner, I'm going to go with Jalin Turner by decision. But it's a very good fight, pretty evenly matched. It could go either way, but I'm going to go with Jalin Turner. Moving on. Interesting fight here. Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. I'm going to go Robert Whittaker by... This is a 3-round fight. I'm going to go Robert Whittaker by second round TKO. I can see Dricus du Plessis striking with him and he gets caught and dropped either by head kick or, I don't know, a hook, and then he falls and Robert Whittaker goes for a ground and pound finish. I can see that happening. I think the first round's going to be very high pressure from Dricus du Plessis. He's going to try and strike with him a little bit, and then he's going to try and mix it up with the wrestling. I think Robert Whittaker's going to be able to... It depends how Robert Whittaker's going to cope, because Robert Whittaker's past couple of fights have all been 5-round fights, so he's kind of used to going at a slower pace than usual. I mean, when was the last time that Robert Whittaker's fights weren't 5 rounds? It was a while ago, because he just came off a headline win to Marvin Vettori. Robert Whittaker's last win was Marvin Vettori. Broke Marvin Vettori down. Marvin Vettori couldn't do anything. Even managed to take him down. Very balanced wrestler is Whittaker. Dricus du Plessis got a win over Darren Till and Derek Brunson, which, I mean, he's beaten them, fair play, but they're not exactly celebratory wins, are they? I think Dricus du Plessis in the you know, he's in the dog, or you know, he's what I say, he's in deep waters already. People are saying that Dricus du Plessis can't be finished. He's got more dog than anyone. Dricus du Plessis got knockout power. His cardio is very suspicious, even though apparently after watching The Embedded he's got much better cardio now because his nose is fixed. He's been finished in most of his fights. He nearly got finished by Darren Till, nearly got finished by Derek Brunson. I don't see why Robert Whittaker won't be able to finish. However, I would say Robert Whittaker doesn't really tend to go for finishes much anyway. Robert Whittaker is kind of like he'll break you down and, you know, he'll break you down every round, and by the later round you'll be finished. But I don't know. I did say that Robert Whittaker's going to TKO him in the second round though. I just think the first round will be a 10-9 to Whittaker. Dricus du Plessis will be outstruck, but he'll try and mix it down with takedowns. I can see Dricus du Plessis just trying to hold him against the cage, kind of like Merab versus Aldo. And then in the second round, I think Robert Whittaker's just going to catch him with a head kick. Not going to knock him out cold, but he'll finish him with ground and pound. I can see him going with a hook or head kick and really breaking him down. On top of that, Whittaker's pace is going to be much higher as well because, like I said before, this is a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight. Which kind of favours Dricus du Plessis because I don't think that guy's ever going to be ready for a 5-round fight. It depends how good his cardio is, to be fair. But he was always gassing out in the second round, and against a guy with, you know, the technicality of Whittaker and the danger of Whittaker. Yeah, I mean, Dricus could get it done. He could just pin him against the ground for ages, ground and pound him, maybe even catch him. That would be mad. Imagine Dricus du Plessis knocks out Whittaker. But I think Whittaker's going to TKO him in the second. Next, most likely other thing to happen is going to be a decision win to Whittaker. But I can see Whittaker catching him in the second round and getting a finish. Moving on to the co-main event. Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Moreno. I'm going with Pantoja. I'm going to call him Pantoja. I don't care, man. Pantoja. I think he gets a submission win in the third round. This is a 5-round fight. Actually, no, I'm going to go... Do I go third? Yeah, I'm going to go third round submission. I think early on in the fight, it's going to kind of benefit Brandon Moreno. I think Alexandre is going to pressure him. He's going to try and, you know, steamroll him. And Brandon Moreno's a very, very crafty striker, hard hitter for a flyweight as well. I think he's going to catch Pantoja, maybe even drop him. But I think he's going to pace him on the feet. I think the first couple of rounds, maybe round 1, maybe round 2. I think round 1, Brandon Moreno's going to win. He's going to, you know, Alexandre is going to come out, you know, high pressure. And Brandon Moreno's going to shut that down. He's going to break him down a little bit and, you know, remind him that he's the flyweight champ. Second round's probably going to be a little bit more slow paced. Pantoja's going to try and take him down, or he's going to try and technically stand with Brandon Moreno. I can see on the feet Brandon Moreno winning this, even though Pantoja hasn't been fit. Has he ever been finished? I don't know. Pantoja hasn't been finished in a while, man. And he's picking up a couple of wins. He has beaten Moreno twice, once by, I think it was decision and submission. But I've got Pantoja winning this one as well by a submission. I think he takes him down at one point and gets him in a submission. I really do. This is like the Alex Pereira versus Adesanya of the flyweight division. I think on the feet, Moreno's favoured. On the ground, Pantoja's favoured. And I think at one point, Pantoja's going to take him down. Especially with the fact that how much he wants it as well. Yeah, I can definitely see Pantoja getting a win here. Yeah, I think he's a bit of a dark horse, bit of an underdog. People are counting him out because they just want Brandon Moreno to win. Yeah, I'm going with Pantoja by a third round submission. I said I think the early rounds Moreno's probably going to get the better of him. Pantoja's going to come out too fast, probably get caught a couple times, and then in the third round he's going to find a submission, maybe in the fourth. It's going to be a good fight though. It's going to be a good fight because they've fought before. They both want to win so badly. This is probably the biggest stage both of them have had, because normally Brandon Moreno is headlining like cards with like Amanda Nunes on or Valentina Shevchenko on, kind of like the weaker pay-per-views. Brandon Moreno's on a big pay-per-view here, but I think Pantoja's going to win, and they're going to have another 4 fight. I can see Brandon Moreno. I don't know why he's always having the 4 fights. Flyweight's got so many like quadrilogies. I can see another quadrilogy happening here. There's so many quadrilogies and they're all involving Brandon Moreno. So inconsistent, man. But yeah, Pantoja by, let's say, yeah, third round submission. Then we move on to the big fight, Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez is an extremely weird, unorthodox but effective striker. One of the best kickers in the UFC. Quick, durable, good BJJ as well. This is going to be a very, very tough fight for Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski, he's just going to break you down round after round after round. His last finish was Korean Zombie. He's coming off a loss, but that was to Islam Makhachev at a different weight class, so you know, somewhat respectable. I think Volkanovski wins this by a 4th round TKO. I think kind of like Moreno versus Pantoja, the early round is going to favour Yair Rodriguez. He's going to be quick and crafty. He's going to, you know, kind of, I don't know how to say, he's kind of going to, I think he could win a couple of rounds and kind of confuse Alexander Volkanovski with a couple of his kicks. I think he could win a couple strikes. Maybe Volkanovski would go for a takedown, and I can see Yair Rodriguez doing really good off his back. I don't think Volkanovski would willingly take him down though. I do think he has much better wrestling than Yair Rodriguez, but the BJJ is a bit of a threat. I just think Alexander Volkanovski's fought everyone to face. He's fought wrestlers like Makhachev, he's fought submission artists like Brian Ortega, he's fought strikers like Max Holloway. He's fought every style, and I don't think Yair Rodriguez, I mean, he is a bit of a weird style. Like I said, he's very unorthodox. I can see the first couple of rounds going to Yair Rodriguez, or just pretty close. Then I think from the third round or something, maybe late second round, third round, Alexander Volkanovski's going to pick up the pace. He's going to start breaking him down. Yair Rodriguez isn't going to really have an answer for it. He's going to get beaten and broken. His face is going to start getting bloody. He's going to get caught. He's going to start slowing down. He's going to start shooting a couple panic takedowns and they won't hit. And then in the 4th round, I could see something catching Yair Rodriguez where he just shells up and gets caught and finished and his face is bloodied and bruised. Bit of a turn of events there, but Volkanovski's just that guy. He's so good, man. Look at his fights with Holloway. Look at his fights with Brian Ortega. Look at his fights with Korean Zombie. Even look at Makhachev after their fight. Yair Rodriguez is good, but he's not great. He's a fantastic striker, unorthodox, good BJJ. But he's coming off a win to Josh Emmett, and we know where Josh Emmett's at now. I've got Alexander Volkanovski via 4th round TKO. Mark my words, this will happen. Yair Rodriguez might have success in the earlier rounds, but as the fight goes on, it's going to favour Volkanovski. Only ever lost twice as well. Also, Yair Rodriguez, he's lost to Holloway. He just about won over Korean Zombie. It was like a last-second knockout. He has lost to a lot of these people, whereas Volkanovski only ever lost to some person at welterweight ages ago in a different division. And Islam Makhachev, who I don't think Yair Rodriguez could last against Islam Makhachev. Yeah, Volkanovski by 4th round TKO. Comment down below if you agree with any of these takes or what you personally think is going to happen at UFC 290. We will be streaming UFC 290. We're going to be streaming a watch along on Saturday if anyone wants to watch. But yeah, that is my official predictions. Thank you.